Father General, greetings from Omaha, Nebraska. Thank you for making this time to be with us as we launch the Ignatius Year in Omaha. Um, the people in Omaha, are very, very pro-Jesuit, and they are very supportive of the Jesuit mission. So this time that you are taking to be with us is really very special. But first, let me ask you, how are you doing in Rome?
Well, we are very good here. I'm very happy to share with you this space. Very happy for this invitation. Here in Rome, we are fighting against the pandemic, still in a kind of confinement, but we are winning. We are winning. So thank you for the invitation.
Oh no, it is. It is. We are honored that you are spending time with us. I have a couple of questions for you that the planning committee kind of came up with, and the first one, of course, is why is the Ignatian Year so exciting?
As we look back during the Ignatian Year, we are also looking forward. It's a kind of not only to remember something, but to take advantage of that memory. 500 years ago, God opened it up for Ignatius a new way of life, and we remember that grace during the Ignatian Year. That's the first very important point. We are thanking God because the grace He gave to Ignatius. But really, the Ignatian Year is less about Ignatius than about us. We are ready, as Ignatius was, to give ourselves to the new ways of life which God is calling us, calling our church, calling our world today. I used to say that Ignatius is not the center of the Ignatian Year, but Ignatius is a way to Christ. So that's what changes the life of Ignatius is his encounter with Christ, and what will change our life and our mission is the encounter with Christ that we want to provoke also during this year. I am glad that as you look back gratefully on the long and rich history of the Society of Jesus in Omaha, you are also looking forward. God's grace is carrying forward so many new projects. The new healthcare campus in Arizona, new ways of accompanying the spiritual exercises, new styles of learning in the middle school and the high school, new partnerships across the city and around the world, including in Kohima when I was there last year. At the end of a discernment that was confirmed by Pope Francis, the whole apostolic body of the society worldwide committed itself today to walk the pathway to God with the young and the poor, collaborating with others in care for our common home. What is exciting about the Ignatian Year is the chance to experience, as Ignatius did, the joy of responding in practical ways to this call of the Holy Spirit today. This is the dynamics that is reflected very well in the title of your own province apostolic plan. Go forth.
Right. That is so true. I loved how you mentioned in terms of that. It's not just looking back at what Ignatius did, but really kind of looking forward, looking at where we are now. And so, one of the topics today, in today's context, is we talk a lot about networking. And you mentioned also as being a global society. So there's really much that we are doing at a global level, trying to network across even networks. But have you found, some examples of like regional or area networking and collaboration across Jesuit ministries that you consider inspirational? And why would you find them particularly inspirational?
As you all know, the Society of Jesus has always seen itself as a universal apostolic body, a worldwide network. The truth is that it's not easy to collaborate across countries and cultures. In fact, even within a single city, people are often absorbed by the challenge of their own particular communities and works, missing the apostolic opportunities that more effective networking could open up. Don't be afraid to start humbly in networking. I was for a time the president of a Jesuit university in Venezuela near the border with Colombia, in San Cristobal. We need a lot of work on border issues. I soon found that a lot of other people were also working on border issues, either on the Venezuelan side of the border or in Colombia itself. We began our network by simply exchanging information about what we were doing. That simple step let us discover some potential areas of collaboration. Networking is a complex process, but sometimes it can start simply. One of the biggest surprise in that case I mentioned before is that the Jesuit University of Colombia, La Javeriana, was also working in the border when we should work, and we didn't know from each other. So we discovered and we start a very nice collaboration that still is there in March.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Father General, unlike many parts of the world, many of our Jesuit works in the United States are set up as standalone entities with their own governance structure. Now you have spoken about caring for those who make our mission possible in our ministries. But I was, we were wondering in the committee over here, we were wondering if you have any specific recommendations of taking care of those who make our mission possible in this Omaha area across these, standalone different Jesuit works.
See, governance structures are very important for articulating an apostolic vision and assuring accountability. Nonetheless, structures are secondary, and that's very important to always have this in mind. Structures are secondary. Structures serve mission. They should constrain mission, and thus we have to focus on mission and then to build or to create structures. In some places, we may need to worry less about control and more about collaboration. Collaboration is an essential part of the society's way of proceeding at this moment. As I once said to a group of young Jesuits, Jesuits do not have collaborators. We are collaborators, or we need to become collaborators. That's the sense of being also at the service of the mission of the Church. I sometimes compare each of the 4 universal apostolic preferences to a finger, saying that all 4 fingers need to work together. Extending the image, collaboration is the thumb of the hand. We cannot grasp the grace that is being offered without the thumb. That's a hand functioning fully. Just before the pandemic shut down travel, I visited the west coast of the United States. In 3 different parts of the province, Southern California, the Bay Area, and the state of Washington, leaders from all different apostolic initiatives came together as a group to talk with me. In each place, pastoral leaders met with educational leaders, spiritual directors, with social activists, and we thought together how to go forward as a body. Through a spiritual conversation and shared prayer, and of course, a good lunch, these leaders share how the universal apostolic preferences were shaping their life and work. What emerged was a deeper desire to work together. Each work could be enriched by every other work, just as each of the preferences is linked to every other preferences. So what I will recommend, spiritual conversation, shared prayer, and a good lunch, many salads.
I love that. We shall make that happen. But I love the image of the hand, the four fingers and the thumb, and I'm always going to remember that. Every time now I clench my fist,
And you have to.
and I have two. That's right. Father General, what are some ways that the Ignatian family here in Omaha can support you and the Jesuit mission at this time, in addition to what you have already told us?
I want to start by saying that I am very grateful for all that you do already. I could mention the expansion of access to Jesuit education at the middle school and high school and online, or the university's innovative program in school leadership, or the widely appreciated summer program in Christian spirituality, but there are also so many things. What else will I ask for? Let me mention three things. First, model for us all the integration of life and mission that the most recent General Congregation requested. As a rule, Jesuits and those with whom we partner work hard, but God is asking for more. God asks of us the gift of all our life. Show us how life and mission are one, so intimately one. Second, teach us to listen. In the United States and elsewhere, these days people are eager to speak but slow to listen. In Omaha, you have a strong tradition of forming women and men to accompany the spiritual exercises. That means that you have many skilled listeners. Teach us to listen to one another so that together we can hear and follow the Holy Spirit. Third, as you accompany young people in the construction of more hope-filled world, please reinvigorate a culture of vocation promotion. Help young people to imagine the possibility of religious life, in some cases as a Jesuit brother or priest, and help them to be bold in following their dreams, the dream that God has for every one of us.
Father General, in fact, the director of vocations for the province is a brother, Pat Douglas, whom you probably know, who lives in our community. And in my marketing class, I actually give my students, one of their projects was promoting vocations to the Jesuits. So that's, I love those three.
Oh, you can develop a lot of there.
Right. So I love those 3 points that you raised. We celebrate Mother's Day this weekend here in the United States. And you have, on various occasions, spoken very fondly of your own mother. And, and for me too, my mother not only brought me to the world, but if I had not, and if she didn't say yes, I wouldn't have joined the Jesuits. So would you like to say something addressed to mothers, especially those here in Omaha?
Well, from my mother, I have learned so much, and I continue to learn so much in her 96 years of life and my 72. As I talk with her on this Mother's Day, I will thank her for at least these things: her ability to accompany each of her 6 children, each one so different from the others; her place at the center of an extended family, a role in which she exercises a ministry of reconciliation at many moments and in many ways during so many years; her generosity and sensitivity toward the people with whom she has worked and the people who work for her. She's always ready to lend a hand, or really to lend both hands. Mothers are a wonderful feminine presence in my life. I use the plural mothers because I have seen these gifts at work not only in my own mother, but in others women friends are also an important part of my Jesuit life. It has been enriching to share the mission with so many women in so many different situations along my life. These experiences of shared mission are the reason for trying to reflect more deeply on the role and responsibilities of women in the life and mission of our apostolic body. About a month ago, I appointed an international commission to work on this theme. The apostolic life of the society today has such an important feminine dimension that it's impossible to imagine our apostolic service without the contribution of thousands of women who each day give themselves with passion and generosity to a wide range of apostolic work throughout the world. I give thanks to God every day for the presence and contribution of women in our life mission. From the bottom of my heart, desire to deepen that collaboration, drawing fresh water from this deep well. I desire for all of you a very pleasant and Thanksgiving Day of the Mothers.
Father General, the women play such an important role, you're very right, in all our ministries here. In fact, today's event would not have been possible if it was not for the young women leaders who, they have managed the facilitating, the planning, the logistics. Everything that is important for this event has been done by young women leaders, and so I'm so grateful to them. I know you have a very tight schedule, and so I just have one more question. Is there anything that has been surfacing in your prayer or examine during these days that that you want us to be mindful of?
Be mindful of the place of prayer in our life mission. My concern is rooted in my dialogue with young people who, in the complex situation of today's world, a situation aggravated by the pandemic, long for a future full of hope. I feel the need of prayer, especially when presenting to young people the possibility of a vocation to the Society of Jesus. The harvest is rich, workers are few. Ask the Lord to send workers into the field. We need to pray to consolidate the efforts for the spiritual, communal, and apostolic renewal of the Society of Jesus in the light of the Spirit, growing on both personal discernment and discernment in common. Prayer is at the center of the spiritual experience of Ignatius, and it is fundamental to the cadence of the society. We need to pray in our own characteristic way, a prayer that leads to collaboration with others in mission, to be inspired by the Lord.
Thank you. That's a wonderful way to end. But Father General, it's been such a privilege to have this conversation with you. I know you have a really busy schedule, but I know the people in Omaha will really appreciate the points that you have raised. And I want you to be assured that you will and the mission will be in our prayers. Thank you so much.
Thank you for this opportunity. I'm looking forward for be there and one of the go forth events.
You are more than welcome. And if you want to be a commencement speaker at a university graduation, you know that you are always welcome.
I can be also a listener, not only a speaker.
All right, Father General. Thank you so much.